100 Over 800 players, 66 countries, and 2 weeks of competition. Welcome to day one of the broadcast for the Trackmania games. We're so excited to be here. We're so excited to have everyone joining us. You will notice, everyone, that I said day one of the broadcast because this is not day one of the Trackmania games. We'll get into it in a little bit, but for now, let's introduce our panel for our opening pre-show just here. And I'm going to start with a question for all of you. Gex, welcome to the show. What event are you most looking forward to over the next 2 weeks?
Oh, I was hoping I got to go last on this because I feel like my pick on this is at least interesting. I was looking across at the different formats there, and one of the only ones that I think is a standout for being listed as the fun type was actually the fast learn. I've got a bit of enthusiasm for that, but I'd have to pick RPG here for me. I think RPG just has so much interesting happening in the mapping, so much interesting happening in the tech. It's just an overall great time. I love watching it.
Now, listen, a man of culture, a man of taste. RPG by far, obviously the best style. Unfortunately, Scandir is just going to win, and there's nothing anyone else can do about that. So we'll wait and see how the results shake out for that one. But it feels, hey, it's going to be fun to watch. Orion, hey, welcome to the show. What style are you looking forward to over the next couple of weeks?
So my one's a bit of a cop out, but you know, we're going to see some serious competition over the next couple of weeks, and I don't think anything is going to be quite as, you know, top end as the mixed tournaments. We've got the mixed solos today, which I'm hugely excited about. The seeding is absolutely stacked for that. Just reading through, it's like, oh, that person's playing. Oh, that person. It's like, it's crazy. We have such a stacked lineup for this event. I think more the mixed team though. I love a team tournament. I love the format that's going to be happening there. You know, like I like the idea of the crowning glory of solo player. Trackmania is a solo game after all, but the team tournaments can be a little bit more of an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, the mixed duo is going to be a lot of fun. Using that Trackmania World Tour match format as well is always a super fun one to watch. You're right, looking forward to that. And then the man I can't believe they let sneak into our broadcast, Formal, down at the far end. At least he's far away from me. Formal, what are you looking forward to in the next 2 weeks?
I'm looking forward to not being set up to fail again already. We've only just started, but Gex took RPGs, so he's able to, you know, kiss up to you. Fair enough. And then Orion comes in and takes what we're going to be covering right now, so I can't say that. I don't know. Give me full speed. Give me the national representation where I think Australia, where I'm from, has the best chance to win. I'm kind of keen to see what Mutta can do out there. Obviously, you know, scrappy country, full speed, always high octane, meticulous performance always required. So I guess I'm keen on that. But in reality, it's so tough to choose. There's just a smorgasbord of events, something for everybody. We're going to be seeing so many big names out there. It's unfair. It's unfair to pick just one.
Max, I know. It's hard to remember sometimes because I cover a lot of Asia, but I am in Australia as well. I'm close enough to come down there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's we've got a very Australian heavy broadcast to kick that. Suppose it makes sense. Start of the day, it's hitting the nighttime already for you guys. It is for the Australian players as well. I mean, you know, it's going to be something we're going to be keeping an eye on, I think, over the next couple of weeks is time zones for different players. It is far too early in the morning right now for any of the players joining from South America or from North America. You know, they're kicking off their day at 6 a.m. if they want to play mixed solo seeding. So maybe something to keep in the back of our minds as well. A global competition means global issues too. But I said it at the top of the show. Formal, we're going to keep moving. We've got a lot of ground to cover right now. I'll come back to you. We are going to talk about how the fact that this is day one of the broadcast for Trackmania games does not mean that the competition has not already started. The mapping competition began over a week ago already. On that Friday, each of the countries able to put in one map, and the deadline, the final submissions for those will be next week on the 30th of January. After which a judging panel will get to have a go at it, and we'll cover on this broadcast all of the maps, at least most of the maps that have been submitted. I believe Randomize is looking forward to taking everyone through those when it comes down to it, and I know he's going to have plenty to say about each of those when it gets into it. I don't know if any of you guys have any particular favorites for countries with particularly good mappers. I mean, I know I was looking through the list. There's a lot of mappers for this competition who have mapped for various styles who are also taking part in the mapping competition.
Shout out DB from down in APAC as well. Huge shout out for DB.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see what each. I'm kind of hoping, you know, we do see those big differences between countries. I think it's going to come down more to which individual mapper takes control over their country's entry in the end of it as well, and seeing some of those styles come through. But it's going to be a lot of fun. Mapping, not the only competition to have begun already. Pathfinding and RPG both began last night as well. I don't think we've really managed to see any big shifts in that just yet, but it is something I think tomorrow we'll be keeping a little bit more of an eye on, and especially by next week as both of those events start to draw to a close, we'll be keeping an eye on how things are shaking out. Pathfinding is just the time attack. That one will close roughly the same time as the mapping on the 30th of January, but RPG has 2 more rounds to go after this. It will be the time attack seeding closing on the 31st of January, and after that we will be closing out the competition the following weekend on our final weekend of play with some live rounds on RPG, where I can't stress enough, we will get to see Scandir drive circles around everyone else. So
No bias.
This is no bias.
No.
Listen, I've spent the last couple of years watching Scandir win a lot of RPG competitions. It's been my bread and butter, and it's always a lot of fun. We're going to move on into a section that I know all of you have been looking forward to as well. We are partnered with eCircuitMania for this event. They do excellent work. There's live stats over there all through the following 2 weeks as well. But more importantly, we got pick'ems. We got the opportunity for everyone to make a fool of themselves, or to prove that they do know ball better than anyone else, better than any of our panel here. And Orion, I'm going to come to you first on this one this time around, because I know I'm looking at the rest of my panel. I know you've put more thought into this than the rest of the panel for sure. What's going on with your pick'ems? We're going to keep it. We're going to keep it general, Orion. We're going to keep it broad. We don't need to go into specific events just yet. But looking at the teams, have you got any surprises up there? Have you selected any country in particular as a bit of a wild card to do well?
My top 3 in 3rd place, France. In 2nd place, Germany. And in 1st place, the UK, baby. It's coming home. It's coming home.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah, right. That's on.
Dex, listen, you're agreeing with Orion.
I will say, at least I've got Great Britain on my list. It's on. It has made the list. I've got them on 5th. I'll say my top 3
Deception.
includes. Look, I had to include us, and I think there's a decent chance we're in this for a fight. I've got Australia as my 3rd. Actually, I went Netherlands for my 2nd, and I went Germany number 1.
That's it. So I'm going to assume you've dropped France into number 4 between the UK and Australia then.
I may have actually just completely forgotten France. That is a possibility for my picks. Yeah. I would.
You know what, Gex? I'm going to bail you out. I'm going to bail you out right now. I'm going to see if this works. 1 sec. Live cuts on my picks. Take a look at that. Australia 3rd as well, baby. Let's go.
Now, the issue here,
Yes,
I can see formal, is that we can't actually see what any of these countries are. You're going to need to scroll that screen region slightly.
Wait. Yeah, I got you. Here we go. There we go.
Hey.
Yeah. Australia 3rd. I agree with that. Canada 2nd. I also forgot the French exist, but Germany. I'm feeling Germany. All right.
I thought you said you were going to do me well here, Matt.
Yeah.
I'm going down with you. We're in this together.
Good. Solidarity.
Also, wait. I also realized I made a mistake. Sorry, Belgium. No. Argentina 6th. Because, you know what? I think South America is going to rise up in this one.
Shout out to
Who
Slovakia.
else
I've
is
got
there?
them pretty high up for me as well. And Canada.
Oh, yeah, New Zealand 4th.
6th for me. Yeah.
OCE represent. Got to get New Zealand up there in 4th.
Gotta get New Zealand up there in 4th.
I've got India in 8th, so we're gonna.
Be interesting. I was about to go around and ask, I mean, any teams that weren't mentioned in kind of top 3s, top 5s there that you guys have eyes on as maybe like a wild card. I will say, I think
Definitely.
given that all of our events are equally weighted, I do think, there's a couple of countries that have 1 or 2 individual really good players, specifically players who are maybe really good at 1 or 2 events. The example I'm going to throw out there for you, because I've mentioned his name a few times already, is Scandir for Belgium, right? Like, it is a country that I could see definitely popping up that leaderboard a little bit higher maybe than some people are expecting them to, because while they don't necessarily have the depth of talent, they have a player who's going to do very well across a couple of different events, Orion.
I mean, yeah, they have a Scrappy as well, which is quite important for the fast learn.
Yeah.
I think, does he hold the current world record for random map challenge? I mean, he's definitely top 3.
Yeah,
so
changes hands too often.
In terms of fast learning, yeah, Scrappy probably is set for a top 3 there, possibly Pathfinding as well. I think he might be playing. Those are the 2 that Scrappy is playing for Belgium. So, yeah, I mean, Scandir RPG, I've put my favorite streamer Virtual, because I think he's definitely going to win the RPG event. But yeah, Scandir is definitely a shout for that as well. If you're asking me about other teams that we haven't mentioned, also in my top 10. Sweden, Switzerland, the Netherlands, Spam and Stuffed as well on that team. Norway in 7th, Poland in 9th. I've got.
I'll back you on Virtual on first.
Canada,
RPG
Belgium.
too.
Yeah, go for it.
Ooh,
Yeah, Virtual and
reasonable.
first for RPG for me. Then Mudder. I've got Mudder on there for second, and Scrappy third.
Interesting. I do always get worried when I hear Formal sitting in the corner muttering, "This is far too reasonable." Formal, what have you come up with for us here?
Honestly, my plan was to do this on the spot, and then when I closed my thing before, everything just broke on me. I'm leaning on Scrappy. I'm boring too. All right, I can't. I will say this though, just because Virtual is like possibly, actually no, he is like the Trackmania streamer, that doesn't mean it's gonna carry over to this event. Like, come on, we can't. It's not gonna happen. Plus, isn't he known for like
the YouTube
choking?
video, man? Think of the views, Think of the ad revenues.
I'm thinking of all that, and then I think of the past ones that he put out, and he always gets so close and just like fails.
I don't know if you're going to hurt me or not, or love me for it, but Belgium, I do have Belgium in my top 10 overall as well.
Belgium should be
it's in my top 10.
I think that's fair. I
10th.
think that's interesting. Yeah. I will say one of the things I'm interested in, and what I'd love to see, is maybe some of the teams from regions that we don't talk about as much. Obviously, look, Europe going to do well. The kind of North American teams with Canada, there's a lot of good players in the US. We've seen a lot from the South Americans. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the kind of, Middle Eastern, the Southeast Asian teams as well, and seeing what they can do. Indonesia are a team I have an eye on for the mapping specifically. Leviathan has been doing a lot of competitive mapping over the last while, is the team captain, is leading their mapping efforts on that one as well, and I think it's going to be interesting. I'm hoping that we kind of see some of these smaller countries that have not had their flowers on these international stages before, manage to pop off a little bit.
It's funny. I went into the mapping pick'ems going, "Oh, how am I ever going to do this? This is so hard to make any picks for." And then I suddenly found myself with, "Oh yeah, no, I can actually." This is like looking through the names.
Yeah, you're like, "Oh wait,
things
hang
just
on."
popped out, and I'm like, "Okay, Leviathan for me is on my second, DB is on my third." So I've got two representatives from the Apex scene there. Yeah.
Leviathan's doing a lot of heavy lifting. Like a lot of heavy lifting, because he's competing in like I think nearly every single event. And there are a couple names out there that are doing that, particularly for the smaller countries as well. So if you were worried about them not getting their flowers, I mean, they perform. We're going to be seeing their names all over the place.
Absolutely.
I went a bit different with the mapping as well. Actually, I actually put Keisler in there. Keisler. Danish, I believe. I'm gonna have to get good with my flags with this event. There's gonna be a lot of them.
It's true.
But yeah, former TMGL mapper. So if anyone can make a decent track that's gonna be good for Cup of the Day and competitive, I think that's a fair shout.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, if you go through the mapping list, you will see a who's who again of people who are mapping for this event, for World Tour, for all of the kind of major community events over the last couple of years. They're all here. It's the Trackmania games. Everyone is here. We're turning into Smash Bros very quickly. I'm going to move us on before we fall too far down that rabbit hole. And let's talk about the events we have today. Let's have a quick look at what our schedule is for today, because we have already mentioned a lot of events, but we are kicking things off with what does promise to be one of the more competitive disciplines of the entire Trackmania games, we're heading straight to mixed solo to kick things off on our broadcast. We're going to be starting with seeding and running all the way through to the quarterfinals of that event today. Later on in the day, we're going to be alternating a little bit between the tech team event and the ice duo. Both of those have their seeding today. Both of them will get as far as their semi-finals as well. And looking forward to all of them. I mean, in a word, Gex, which of these events are you most looking forward to today specifically?
It's going to be interesting. I want to see ice just because it's always an interesting, fun watch. There's going to be some crash outs. But I think it was already discussed, mixed solo, you bring in the top end of things. I think so much of that comes down to experience across all those different map surfaces. It is actually, we're starting with the best for me.
Yeah, we definitely are. And I think, look, I'd like to just start talking a little bit more in depth immediately about some of these events. And I'm going to kick us off, Formal, by talking a little bit about the tech team event that we have going on. This is an event where we have one team per country. It is going to be the top 32 teams then surviving seeding. So basically half the countries getting eliminated straight off the bat in the seeding round. It's then going to be a format that some people may not have seen that much of. It's a knockout team tournament format for the matches, a double elim bracket. Basically, we'll have 3 players going into each map. The last place player gets eliminated in each round, and when every player from your team has been eliminated, you lose the map. It's going to be a really fun one to watch. We've got some very good mappers, Whiskey having built one of the tech maps for this. And I mean, tech really is, it's the granddaddy of Trackmania esports, right? Like, it is where this entire scene was 10, 15 years ago. It's only recently been overtaken by mixed.
Yeah, and it's going to be super fun, I think, to watch as well, because you have that team element. And just within, I guess, the spirit of this event, right, where you're coming in with that national pride, but you're coming in with that team as well. Yeah, the solo, I think, is going to have some of that individual bragging rights. But at that same token, it's the ability to work together and kind of punch through right there. And that's what we're going to see, I think, maybe more of the national rivalries really come through in its end, because we did our pick'ems before. And even though every event is sort of weighted the same in terms of those overall standings, it feels like you're winning the mixed team or the tech team. That's where you're going to be carrying over. And I know, Orion in particular, there was like a couple teams you were looking at that probably could be favorites. Canada being the big one.
Yep, we haven't said his name yet, but here we go. It's Carl Jr., ladies and gentlemen, playing for that tech team. And is there a better tech player out there, guys?
No.
Maybe a Karyan, but he's not featuring for Sweden.
I believe Noisia one day.
Yeah, so we have Carl playing. Also, I wanted to highlight Germany as well. Once again, Barbos playing, Ratchet playing on the same team. That's scary. Azox as well. France, Otak on that team, Feed on that team. I'm going through the teams too quickly. Our producer's having a nightmare.
No. Ryan is bullying the back rooms right now.
Right, we'll go Switzerland next, which is Afi and Yannick as well. Those are my pick'ems. So those were the players that I highlighted the most. But yeah, going back to Carl, like world champion, greatest of all time. Little nugget of information on Carl as well. I was watching some mixed map replays last night. Went on to Carl's perspective. And he had a broken controller. His steering was locked at 98%. And I sent this to him and he went, "Oh my god, you're right. I played World Cup with this." And he won. He won with a broken controller.
Well, I mean, you tried to like start a conversation here with, do you think Carl Jr. is the best? There's there is no discussion. It's just, probably. Okay. Yep.
It'll be really funny.
I have two things
Carl
I want to add.
plays with a fixed controller and it's Orion's fault. It's completely Orion's fault. He's like, Carl was he was good when it was 98%. Sorry, Formal, you were adding two things.
No, I gotta add to this. There's 2 things I want to bring up. One, first of all, I'm in shock that like the best player in the world didn't notice that 2%. So come on, Carl, get on it a little bit. Secondly, I'm gonna break the 4th wall. All right. We were warned about that story ahead of time. Orion didn't even bring it up, but before we even came in our little production morning, it was just like, be ready. Orion's going to bring up Carl Jr. He's so proud of himself. He found it out. Good on him, and good on you for finding it.
Yeah, that was
it.
He snitched on me.
Yeah, that was our broadcast manager, just absolutely pinning her on, just absolutely knowing what was going on.
I was really proud of myself.
You should be. You should.
I would like to, just before we move on from Tech Team, point out that there's kind of something interesting because, you know, Tech and mixed, the Tech and mixed styles are maybe the two closest styles in some way that we actually have across this competition. You know, a lot of the old school Tech players moved across to mixed along the way, and so there's a lot of names who have been playing this game for the last 15 years are playing in Tech. But equally, there's some countries like France, right, where you have Otak, who's won a world championship, who went on to, he won XP Evo a couple of years ago as well, has been at the top of the game when the game has been mixed competition, is not competing in the mixed solo event, is in the mixed team, but has chosen, with a country like France, you know, they have so many players, they had limited numbers of places and limited numbers of events that each person was able to compete in. Choosing to put Otak into Tech Team, for example, I think is a really interesting decision, and it's kind of one that we've seen in a couple of different ones. I'm going back to Belgium again. Scrappy is not playing in mixed, despite the fact, you know, he's been competing at a World Tour level and at quite a high level in the last few years. Did choose to participate in the Tech Team event rather than in mixed solo, and I don't know, I think it's interesting to see. We'll see how it shakes out for those countries who have kind of some of these players coming in to the Tech event rather than the mixed event. And I mean, both of those events I think are going to be super exciting, and again, we get to see both of them kind of kick off today. I'm going to move us on. I know that we could spend all day talking about any of these events. We're going to move on and talk a little bit about the ICE tournament as well. You said it, Gex, an event to look forward to, an event I'm definitely looking forward to as well. I love watching competitive ICE, and what we have lined up for everyone during the Trackmania games is a duo tournament. Maximum of 2 duos allowed to be entered per country, and the top 32 duos will survive seeding today as well. It's going to be a duo cup format. That means 2v2, v2, v2. I don't know if I got enough 2s in there. There's going to be 4 teams in each match, a double elimination bracket. The Duo Cup means that the players' points will be added to each other as they try to get to finalists, and then both players in the duo will need to win a round in order to get the team out of the match. So you're going to get some very stressful rounds there. It's a duo format where you kind of, Orion, can't just have one very good ICE player carry, because again, you do need at the end of that match, even if all of your points have come from one player, you still need the other player to actually win a round in finalist mode.
Yeah, and that can prove to be difficult, especially when you've got 3 other teams in the map and comprised of equally good players. So, you know, getting to finalists does not ever guarantee a win in any mode, not least ICE. You know, ICE is... Yeah. It's that little bit more chaotic. Maybe when I play it, maybe not for the top players, but when I play ICE, things happen. Things get out of hand fast.
I'll completely agree, and it's one of the reasons I love watching competitive ICE so much. You know, one of the things that sometimes comes out after players have been playing a map pack for a while, specifically, you know, a Tech or a mixed, is that there's just not enough corners that matter, is kind of the complaint, right? There's a few corners on the track where you can gain or lose those extra couple of tenths. ICE is so fun to watch because basically every corner is a chance to drop a gear, to lose half a second, to lose more than half a second, and that's every time. And you're right, when you get to the top levels, that's maybe less of a risk, but you can push every corner in ICE. And that's what makes it so fun to watch. There's always an extra level of risk. Every corner is a decision point for the players to be making on how much am I risking? How much do I need to push to try and get round? And Gex, you get to watch that in real time. You get to see those decisions happening more than you do in almost any other style, I think.
I think particularly Australia has a standout there that people are looking forward to and might not actually see was going to be the interesting one there. One of us on the desk might have to change their pick'ems, in fact, because we're looking at that ICE. There is Mudder with a little symbol on the left of his name there. He is the substitute for the ICE team.
Yes, that is correct, which I think some people were not entirely aware of when it came to making their pick'ems. But yes, Mudda is the substitute for that duo of Ramoon and Jastastic, which is going to be entertaining to see. We will see how things shake out for those teams along the way as well. And, you know, who does end up getting subbed in, what does end up happening for those teams. But I'm looking forward to seeing how the ICE shakes out. Formal, do you have anything to add? Any teams that you're looking forward to seeing in the ICE other than Australia? Oh, it's that Formal's microphone appears to have collapsed and died. My God. No. Oh.
The Decepticons have entered the chat. It's
Formal, I fear
Max,
I'm gonna ask you to
stop talking.
You gotta mute up. You gotta mute the microphone. Oh my Lord. Hang on. Is he fixed?
Oh, no, he
Oh,
is very not.
oh,
That's
dear.
crazy.
What if
That's
not
wild.
his microphone
Some
and
of-
he's just having a complete malfunction.
Him as a person in real life right now. He's got roommates going, what is happening? Air raid sirens going off in the neighborhood.
Has collapsed. Error 404.
While Formal figures out what's going on with his microphone, let's move on and talk about the last style that we are seeing today. And of course, no, it's still there. The style that we are going to be kicking our day off with is mixed solo. And this is going to be a very, very exciting one. 269 players taking part in seeding at last count. Only 64 of them making it through that seeding as well. It's going to be just a standard cup mode double elimination bracket when we get to that top 64. And I should point out, only the top 4 players allowed in from each maximum 4 players allowed to enter for this event from each country as well. I think is going to make things pretty exciting too. I mean, there's so much to touch on here. I mean, in general, I think most people who've been watching any kind of competitive Trackmania over the last couple of years are going to be aware of what mixed is as a style, you know, that there is all of the surfaces, everything gets a look in there. You have to be aware of how to do an outside dirt, of how to do a single ice turn, of how to get your tech drifts in and the rest of it. And all of our players are so good at that. Welcome back, Formal. While we're talking about mixed solo, I know for a fact that you wanted to mention the Argentinian team in this event.
I also wanted to mention the Estonian team in ice, but you know we can't always get what we want.
We've moved on.
You know, you're lucky this time, Critty. You're lucky this time. But no, yeah. I said it before. I have a lot of hype for this Argentinian team right now. I don't know if it's recency bias, but I feel like Noisia. I just watched an event where he was going toe-to-toe with Carl Jr. and at times was faster. And if he can stay out of his own head, I think this is the type of event that can win and kind of further cement him on the map. And to add to that, Carl Jr. isn't actually doing this one right now. So I don't know. I feel like this is going to be one of those events where Argentina is going to be able to steal some. That's all I was going to get at with that. You're lucky, Critty. You are so lucky.
He's so lucky, absolutely. Just generally looking through like the players that are participating in this, it is kind of a who's who of top players from the last few years. I mean, Orion, you have to be excited. This seems like an event the UK is probably going to do quite well in, right?
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, the general argument here is, well, we have a Hulk. Sorry, what was I going to say? We have a Hulk. We have an Epos, is what we have. I struggle to see a reality where he doesn't step up here because, you know, relishes himself under pressure. I've rarely ever seen him falter. Has won XP Evo the past 2 times. Arguably, is he the best British player at the moment? I don't want to put my neck on the line and say that, but best British mixed player, yeah, I would say, and I've got him first. Let me do a big scroll down here because there are so many good players playing this. 200 and is it 270?
269, 270, something like that. We'll see. Yeah. Let's be honest. Probably we're going to miss a few who forget to set their alarms this morning or something, especially those who are sitting further west of Europe at the moment. But yeah, that registered for this mixed solo seeding, 269 players.
Can I highlight one more player before
I'd love if you did.
Else? That is Stuft of the Netherlands, who actually did not play Trackmania for a while, but has come back, and I think he has I think he's in the top 5 for every single mixed track. Correct me if I'm wrong, the last time I looked at the leaderboards, he is up there. And I mean, he was on the ascendancy before he decided to take a break, and now, like, we're in 2026, it's the year of Trackmania esports. Banger prediction, by the way, Mime. Absolute genius. And he's come back. So I'm really excited to see what we see out of him as well.
Yeah, hopefully big things. It's definitely a name to keep an eye on as we go into this mixed solo seeding. Make sure that he gets into that top 64. He should, but we've seen stuff to play from an island somewhere on holidays in the Netherlands before, and that did not end well for him in previous competitions. Hopefully he's at home on his setup. Gex, I'm going to come to you and ask if there's any players at this point that you'd like to highlight in the mixed solo event.
I'm looking forward to the players that are coming in under big coaches, to be honest. I think it's underestimated how much coaches are going to have an effect in this event. We've got a lot of big experience, and I shouted that out as we were coming into this, that mixed event, it's so heavily weighted towards that experience. When you can take to every track surface and do well on it, that's absolutely huge. So I'm looking towards those nations that are bringing in really big coaches. Canada's got to be up there, so why not Lingo for me? I want to have a look at Lingo and see how he does.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah.
Who do we think is not going to survive the cut? Because 269 people, 64 get through. A big name's not. I reckon we're going to miss out on a big name or two. So who doesn't survive? Like, where is the shocker going to be in this
That's
seating?
an excellent question. Unfortunately, we've run out of time on the desk. I won't be able to answer this question. We're going to have to send it over into our first live match of the day. We're heading to seeding for the mixed solo. I'm going to leave you three to it and enjoy answering the very, very difficult question Formal has just posed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna impose my will, I guess, on you guys right now, and Orion. I kind of am leaning on you because
do that.
It's
so
look,
mean.
This event can be mean, I guess, in that regards, because there are going to be so many cuts, and it's 8 out of 10 times we're going through all 3 of these tracks right here. I think some big names are gonna fall short, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick any of them out, though. I think you're right. Ultimately, I agree with you. Yes, there might be someone that has an absolutely horror seeding where at the end of it we go, oh my god, this person didn't make it. What the hell? Let's talk about it.
Who was Lewis pick to like get through and do well?
I don't think that he had one for this event particularly.
I was going to say that they are the one who crashed and burned. Keep it simple. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Can I go out and actually like fight you on this film? I don't think there's going to be any of the big names going out on this. I just think top 64 is enough space that no matter what bracket you're in, if you're one of those big names, you should be making it through. I mean, Trackmania is all about consistency. If you're a big name, you have consistency. You shouldn't be being knocked out in that bracket.
Yeah,
I mean, you shouldn't be. But that's
essentially we're whittling this down to a Div 1, aren't we? 64 players. That is your Div 1. And yeah, the big names always seem to make it into Cup of the Days, no matter what the map is, no matter if they have any issues in the time trial. They always seem to make it in. So I don't know. I don't know whether to agree with you, Formal, or you, Gex. I guess time will tell, right?
We literally are like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other right now.
Literally.
Literally. In this. But
doubt
look, I think it's
doubt them all, says Max.
I think it's going to be interesting too, because obviously with this many players, we're separated into 4 servers. We're going to be covering the 3rd server for this seeding, because there are, I think out of all of them, it's the one that's the most stacked in terms of some of the bigger names that we're going to be seeing in it. Which actually we're getting very close to kicking this one off right now. So I guess in this pod, like, who should we be looking at and following?
That is a very good question. I will have to look at the players in the pod first to be able to answer it.
I mean, Noisy is there, but my bias aside, I'm also looking at like Granity. Elcon is another name I'm kind of excited to see. Like, this feels like a really stacked group.
Yeah, there are so many names in there. Oh, DB's in there. The Mapper is in this group. Spammy J.
So is your
Spammy
favorite
J's
mapper.
here.
So Leviathan is in this one as well.
Oh, yeah.
So like,
I will mention Brinken here as well, Sweden, who when the maps were released had all 3 world records after about 24 hours when I first did.
He's still in the top 5.
Map discovery, and yeah, he's still up there. So that's a name to look out for, I guess.
And he's already sitting second for a moment there. He's top 5 in the live rankings.
This is warm up, fortunately.
Yeah,
so.
I think the warm up's going to be fairly, at least for that top pack, if you're really putting in the proper warm up, somewhat representative. So
I'll wave my UK flag a little bit again and highlight Bosbez, because I have been casting Trackmania for about 4 years now, and mostly just watching him win in all of the British events.
Oh, wait. If we're going that way, I'll say Australian Blackfeather as well. He actually came up very, very nicely in those top 5 lists as well from the early days of the mapping.
Well, here we
I
go.
feel like... Go on. No, go on.
Oh, I'm just
Take it
saying, this
away.
is live. We've started. This is officially the beginning. The Trackmania, you know, where the games are afoot. This is our first round of the seeding. I don't actually know how many drivers are in this pod, but there is a lot. And the early leader, the one taking charge, I have him picked actually for second place. It is Elcon21, already putting out a solid 1/10 ahead of everyone else.
Brinken made an early start there as well. He's slipped back to 8th roughly now, though. But all of the names that we were kind of looking at sitting very high. Spammy J, of course, in here looking great. The 2012 world champion.
Something like that. Yeah, it was a long time ago. Obviously, Trackmania looks a lot different than it was. You know, vanilla tech. But we are
like
on
riding
mixed
a
maps
bike,
and
really, isn't it?
Yeah,
Being
sure.
a world champion. Yeah.
So we haven't had a chance really actually to talk about the tracks as much, I feel like, on that pre-show. So now that we're having a look on it, I'll be brutally honest, all right? I am not the one who should be breaking down how to do some of these tracks. Now, we are starting with Cryomass, and of the three, this is the one I actually have the least experience on. So again, Orion, you're probably the best player of the three of us here. Where
God,
are the
don't
key
say that.
points on this? No, it's a compliment.
I mean,
I know it's not Gex.
okay, so
Oh,
I'll be completely
righto.
honest with you. I did like, you know, what you could try and call map discovery. Played the first map, that's board on by Leroy, which we'll see in a little bit. Played that one, thought, yeah, I can drive this. This is pretty nice, good map. Got onto this one, I was like, there's ice. Oh no. And then I just watched the world records. So I could tell you about this map, but I mean, you're not really going to get much more from just kind of watching what you're watching. I mean, I guess this is a little bit different. It's not, you know, like big ice slides like a pure ice map. It is well integrated into the you know, mixed style that we're seeing. You've got like a small ice turn into then like that reset block and which then snaps you back forwards. One thing I will say about this map though is the finish. Last time I checked, the world records were the world record was tied by the top 3 players. And watching that world record, the player that in like 3rd place, I guess if you want to call it that, actually had a lead of about a 10th going into the final checkpoint, but took the finish much wider. And because of the horizontal finish, it's so important to get that last line. We are going to see so many snipes on that finish because getting into it early at the earliest available opportunity saves you so much time.
I feel like it snipes at the ending and then the ice turn at the beginning as well. A couple people actually have some issues on the dirt right there, a couple little bonks, but to me those feel like the 2 key points, because obviously when you're watching the drivers at the top level like we're seeing right now, they make it look simple, but it is such a narrow gap for that first ice turn to actually hit and to hit at speed and not have to make the micro adjustments that will cost you a 10th or 2. So I feel like it's the start and the finish of this track that will make or break. And as you can see, you know, how you have yourself set up, it kind of turns into a one line through the middle portions of it all.
I think it's one of the more forgiving maps of the 3 as well. I think particularly lacking any like wet plastic or anything like that. You don't have any of those massive risk time cuts here or anything. So I think it should be one of the more consistent maps of the 3. As far as the names we were looking at, everybody kind of going where we thought they would. Noisia is in that top 10, so that was a good shout out, Max.
I will defend Noisia to the end of the earth.
It's 8th right now.
Right? Exactly. And they're still warming up. I didn't get a chance to kind of follow this one up right now. We were talking about before, a lot of these South American players, you know, it's like super early in the morning for them. So what do? Do you stay up all night to play, or do you wake up early if your like first match is at 5 or 6 a.m.?
Oh, it's definitely got to be a wake up early, no? Because, you know, we've got what, 5 hours of competition. So
Yeah.
staying up all night, like if they were just doing the seeding, sure, I'd agree with you. But like,
It's going to be
staying
like
up
really
all night.
early though, right? Because you don't want to be like waking up 10 minutes, grab some breakfast and then jump on. Your hands are not going to be functional.
what time is it now? Like 6 in the morning, 5 in the morning, something like that.
I'd be
don't know
I'd be
the
waking up at
gaps.
like 4:30 and getting a little practice in first, if that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
6 a.m. for tournament
See,
start.
I can't do that. I have to. I'm not pulling the all nighter per se, but I'm sleeping all day the day before.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm waking up at like midnight, and we're rolling from there. It is going to be interesting to see, how much of an advantage that might like come to play or not, and especially for the people who are going to be, playing multiple events and possibly having your 10, 12-hour day if you're advancing and making your way through. It is going to be very tough. Now, this format for the qualifying is a little forgiving. My man Noisia did bonk last round, lost his time, but that's okay because we're taking 8 of the 10 best times as another little mistake from Noisia, seeing him drop back. A little bit unfortunate
Spammy
right there,
J's
but,
out of the top 8.
yeah, but who's been in the top 2 every single time? It's been Elcon, man. Elcon is on a tear right now.
How did we forget about this guy? Like,
I mean,
genuinely.
I have
Elton is
second.
averaging
Crushing
first right
it.
now as well. Granati's second, Brinken's third. That's
Elcon's
come
my
up a
number
long
2,
way.
man. I had him at number 2 just because I'm not getting lumped in with forgetting about Elcon, okay? I refuse to accept that label on me, but yeah, he has been looking so strong, and yeah, him and Brinken have been so far the standout performers of these seeding, or I keep wanting to call it the qualifying matches. I feel like if you're eliminating people, that's not just seeding, this is qualifying. And Elcon
it's kind of both.
on pace to qualify very high up.
Yeah, from this we go to a 64-player double elim bracket, and that will be like seeded from this. So like if Elcon, for example, were to finish first overall, he would be the first seed going into that bracket, and then be lumped into a match with the 64th seed and the 2 in between that. So we're not just lumping players together, we are actually seeding as well as eliminating players during this phase of the tournament.
I just saw in chat someone saying Elcon dominance could bore fans. I have never more vehemently disagreed with a sentiment. I don't think anyone is going to dominate, and if they do dominate an event like this, as like star-studded and as it can be, I think that in itself would be super exciting to watch. Elcon, by the way, another incredibly fast time right there, the 57.808, just off like the best of the server so far. He is getting
That's
next
2 tenths
level
off
right
world
now.
record as well.
Shoo!
And Brinken on second there as well. I think that'll up Brinken's overall for the average out of these as well. Yeah, Brinken now sitting in second overall. Spammy J in third too. So.
Where's Blackfeather? I see Blackfeather in the top 10 right now. I feel
right
like this
now,
is the
but
first time. That was your
yeah.
pick, Gex. What's been happening?
Well, it was the only one that I could call out from Australia. There was the national pride coming out. I had to back someone, and yeah, it was a standout in the early times getting in there, but obviously has not held to the lines coming through. But I did also call out those mappers, and they're not doing so great either.
Gotta get back to the mapping, You show up, you get
DB,
your
I did see
participation
sitting
award.
on a wall earlier. It wasn't, yeah.
I actually want to know who's doing well right now. Orion, your pick. Bozbez up in P. This is the first up we've seen Bozbez so far.
Yeah, I think he's like top 8 when we see the leaderboard at the end of the round, and I expected nothing less, to be honest. He's just an exceptionally good player. Probably highlight for me for Boz was winning the Encore tournament against who was that final? Wizzy, Myquattro. I want to say it was Binks. Yeah, Binks. He's probably top 2, 3 British player. So I no surprise for me to see him up there.
Also, we did just see Elcon shave another 10th off and get even closer to that world record that last round. That was the fastest of the server yet. So Elcon definitely warming up. And, it's the seeding rounds when you have that little bit of cushion where you could expect to see those times. So we will now actually be jumping over. We're going to check out a different server. Now, we're moving over to server 4. And I don't remember the big names off the top of my head in this one, except for Gex. The biggest name, at least for us, is in this one. We're going to Mudda's server now.
Yep. Let's go. Mudda time. That's the only name I needed, really. Mudder is going to come in here and dominate the OCE GOAT. That's the
Also, Stuff.
That's where it's at.
He's currently not in the top 12.
Yeah,
no, he is in our hearts. He is in our hearts.
Stuffs as well in this server, kind of another big name. Massa.
Massa,
well.
Josh
Yep.
as well. I will highlight Josh, who has been on the ascendancy in the British scene. Most probably known for his full speed driving, which I fully back him to just win the whole thing, or unless full speed is a team, I can't remember. Arguably the best full speed player in the world right now, but has also been grinding out the mix maps, has a couple of tournaments under his belt, and is looking to break into the semi-professional and professional scene. Looks like he had a great round there.
With that last one, Mudder does break into the top 10 overall as well, so is at least kind of hanging on to the tail end of this. There's time yet.
Yeah, we have Gwen too. Wow.
Yeah. Well, here's
Long
the
time
thing.
no see.
It feels like whichever group we
Kvik.
jump in, we're going to see, like, old names coming back just for this event. You know what I mean? It's kind of dragging everybody out. And that just comes from the nature of having so many different events, so many different disciplines, and with just such a large pool of players, it provides that opportunities for, again, not even just the top. Like I said Critty before, I know him more as a caster than a player, even though he does, frequently represent Estonia in different events. But see him out there competing in the ice, that's sick as well. I almost wish I was out there competing at that same token, kind of watching this, even though I would get smoked. But it's just
You'd have fun doing it.
time.
That's the main thing. Yeah.
It's the taking part that counts.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Very fast time for Stuffs right there. And whenever you're getting sub 58, you are doing a lot of things right.
Yeah. I think that's fair to say for sure. Stuff's second right now to Josh1248. There's no way that's correct, right? No, he is absolutely smashing it right now.
Yeah, Josh is
Yeah.
really one to watch this tournament.
He was one of my picks in the pick'ems, Josh1248. So I'm glad that he's up there.
I mean, I'm just trying to see who else, any other, kind of bigger names that we're kind of picking in the thickness of the pack. And this
He's in there as well for Poland.
Yeah.
Davigno, Latvian player.
And Massa was really probably my pick for this as well, and he is doing very, very well overall. But it seems like a much less stable lobby than our last one. All those top names really shuffling around here.
Yeah, I mean, towards the front of it, you can see it's interesting how if you nail that first turn, you really get that 10th or 2 ahead of everyone else. Whereas like the normal pack, it feels like the average fast pack time is that mid 58, and that's where we're kind of seeing a lot of the qualifiers, or the players we're going to be expecting in qualifying, really hit. As that will be the end of our first map. So one map is done. We'll see how much, how much parity there's going to be when we switch to a new map, and how much more it's going to get mixed up as we are going to Burden. So remember before I was talking about how I played the maps a bit? I'm going to out myself right here. The risky finish on this map, if you don't watch the GPS, you won't find it.
It was a hard one, to be fair. I did have to watch a world record to be like, initially I looked at it and I was like, how on earth do you get up there? And then when I finally did get up there, I flew off the other end because I went the wrong way on the reactor.
Yeah.
This map is seriously cool though.
This is my favorite of the 3 maps. I also generally thought on that finish, the reactor, you were supposed to use it to get over the slow-mo panel. I thought that was the trick. That was the risky part of it. So I was intentionally throwing myself off the wrong way. That's what we were doing right there. But now this map, this is my favorite of the 3 that we're going to be seeing for the mix. I'm glad you agree with me on that one because it's technical, it's fast. There's a lot of cool tricks like this turn right here. It's so easy to overshoot it because it's a breakless section. It's just fun.
I will say a shout out for the mappers that are looking towards this tournament. A risky finish should feel like a risky finish. That is a big plus for me.
Oh yeah, like compared to the last risky finish, right? Oh, you have to just turn slightly more, not
Exactly.
this one.
Oh, that's gonna absolutely shatter my run.
Now here, look at this. Like, look at this. It's so precise. But again, everybody makes it look so easy.
Into our second group of qualifiers right now as well. So it is going to be an interesting one to see. Out Epos, there you go. There's the shout. Epos is getting in very, very nicely right now in second.
Yep, another big name to watch. I don't know how he fared on the previous. I'm trying to look at the live seeding on eCircuit Mania to give you guys an idea of who is currently at the top over all four, but there's so many players and it's updating so fast that I don't think I'm capable of doing that at the moment. So we'll have to wait until the very end.
At least average, Letster is number one, Epos, then Alex W, and Thomas Jean, who was a big shout out for me, actually, Thomas Jean, for the event.
Okay, I've got a small production complaint. Why did it briefly say you were in first place there, Gex? Who did you Venmo?
Yeah, it seems to be like I've seen that change to so many different names when we're in. I think the spectator, when you join, it puts you at the top because you have no time, which is no time at all is much faster than any time.
Bribing your way to the top. Look, Australia needs the golds right now. We saw Mutta before struggling to get the top 10s, whatever it takes. But no, Letster looks very strong on this track, and which is a good sign for Germany.
I guess I can probably bring some info on like the track itself, where you can gain time, etc. Looking at the world records yesterday, that small little wood section is honestly one of the most important parts of the track. Like, it looks so insignificant, but like reducing airtime there and like keeping speed onto the plastic is hugely important. The finish as well, there's two different approaches. I watched, I think it was Stuffed who has the world record, and Massa. Stuffed goes like really inside and does a longer drift to like land right at the bottom of that reactor and then into the finish. Whereas Massa goes for a much wider line and tries to kind of just go up the quarter pipe as fast as he can to get the reactor and then power through. And honestly, Massa's approach looked faster. Like, Stuff's had maybe a tenth or two into the last checkpoint for their records, and Massa was then maybe like half a tenth behind. So it's difficult to say which approach is faster or which approach is more, regu in rounds. But it's interesting. I like when a map can have different lines instead of just, this is the line, you drive it fast, you win,
It feels like Massa's approach was more popular. From what we're seeing so far in this one.
And that last server we saw, it really was like anybody's guess as to who was coming up each round. And this one seems different again because maybe a bit of swap and change between like two positions, but everything seems relatively stable. To emphasize that point, that last round, Letster and Epos were only 2 milliseconds apart, and they're fighting for that first spot.
Apos just sent it at the end of that last round there. I thought Alex was doing a great job kind of moving up through the field, and then Apos out of nowhere steers me to. Letzer, though, they're running away with this group. I think it's safe to say they're going to advance, but here's the thing. We were talking before about like how big the cut is. 269 to 64, that's insane. But where you seed yourself is important as well. Again, higher seed means easier matches, potentially. So it's not just survival. You want to survive, and you want to survive in the best position to go far. And,
that's true.
Well, Letzer right now looking like they could be contending for the #1 seed. Of course, as soon as we bring it up, maybe now a little bit slower on this one. Nope. Again, consistently just in the front, if not P1, it feels like every single round in this pool.
Keep getting really excited. A couple of names just briefly appearing in that top 12, actually quite high, but like early start there for one of the major players out from APAC as well, and disappeared quite quickly. And then again from a big name from OCE, not to be, but those top ones just so consistent.
I also saw SQLC kind of there. Yep.
Careless Cobra was the name.
Kevy winning the round there, a player who we haven't seen too much of recently, haven't seen too much of in high-level competition, but famous for, I think it was back-to-back campaign wins from Kevy, which I don't think had ever been done before in Trackmania 2020, so it was an absolute campaign Andy, and just honestly an incredible
Oh, there
player.
he is
So it's
again.
great to see Kebby showing up. Yeah.
Iridium in number 4 for just a moment before he disappears off the leaderboard entirely. And Careless Cobra. It's the same as last round. Both at the same corners too.
I love it. I love the bias, embrace it, and I do kind of want to see that carry over, obviously in friendly ways, but again, it's like the Olympics, right? We want to cheer that national pride. We want to kind of cheer our regions on. And don't worry, to all you Europeans out there, not only are you going to get representation, it feels like, with every single broadcasting group, and to the North Americans who are tuning in, you guys will come on soon, but the start of this event, prime time OCE, you got to deal with the Australians for now, and we all have to deal with Letzer. And just, again, another dominant performance from the German. Gonna take another one, P1 on this one. 55.364, so insanely fast. It should be worth noting, though, you are competing against everybody in the seeding. It's not just this pool.
Yeah.
You're against the other pools as well. So winning this pool doesn't necessarily mean you're winning overall.
Yeah, that was what I was trying to work out in terms of like eCircuit Mania lists every player, but it's updating so frequently, and there's maybe a couple of little bugs with it as well. So I can't tell you who's winning at the moment, unfortunately. As much as I'd love to, guys, much as I'd love to.
So, yeah,
but yeah, we are going to switch back to our server 3.
Ooh, back to, again, the star-studded one. They're all star-studded, but something about server 3, man. I mean, we covered it at the very, very start. I'm happy to go back and see how it's looking right now following, Orion is Bozbez, the one you're looking at, kind of PA, and yeah, this is what I mean. Every map you're going to have different front runners. When we were here before, it was the Elcon show. Now it's actually Italy out in front, and haven't spoken too much about the Italian team as of yet.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what to say about the Italian team. It wasn't something that I had on my list, and to see that far up, this is the beauty of bringing in something like this. You get those surprise finishes.
Still Elcon in first in the group, and it was Brinken who got the snipe, currently sitting in second. So looking
they're currently both a solid 3 seconds ahead of everyone in terms of cumulative time.
Wow, that's crazy.
So a cut above the rest.
Yeah, these are going to be two that I think we're going to be looking at to go quite deep. And as well, this is our first chance to really see as well which drivers are strong on which track. So I hope you're taking notes at home once we do start getting into, well, the round 16, which is going to be happening immediately after the seeding. We're going all the way through to the quarterfinals today for the mixed solo. We're not going to be finishing the event. We're just getting through the quarterfinals and then finishing, I believe, tomorrow. So we're going to be seeing a lot of these tracks. We're going to be seeing a lot of these players, and later in today too, we have ice coming up as well. So if you're more into that, it will be following, I believe, the mixed solo. It's just a lot of events happening, a lot of them happening simultaneously as well. I love the fact that the RPG even sold the Olympic Village. That was so cool.
Yep. Amazing. I think as much as we get into these main stage events like our mixed event, like our tech event, it's when we get over to stuff like ice that we're going to start to see those really interesting finishes, that we see a few more mistakes come out that we wouldn't in other events. I'm very, very keen to see what we get as the surprise results when we get into those other little bit more niche events.
I gotta be that guy. The only reason why you want to see the surprise results is because if Australia wins anything, it's gonna be a bit of a surprise, unless it's Mutta.
Hey, who's not playing on ice? Yeah.
If he does well on the ice, all right, that would be a surprise. That would be a big surprise to see what would happen there. But right now, I mean, it's interesting.
Full speed.
Well, yeah, that's. I'm breaking the fourth wall. I'll break the fourth wall. Initially, when we were doing our, like, ooh, which event are you looking for the most? I was going to say full speed because Mutta and bring that OCE pride. But you know what? Nah. I'm into, honestly, yeah, Orion, you had it right. I think the mixed and the tech teams are going to be, like, those are going to be the fun ones. I think that's going to be crazy. As is this, though. I think mixed and tech, it's just always fun as watching Elcon. Yeah, where was that chat? I feel bad for the chatter who said the Elcon dominance is going to be boring, because this is shaping up to be a boring event for him right now.
Not wrong. Still, Brinken's not giving up. That's for sure. He's had some good finishes.
Yeah, well, I mean, Elcon is driving within, what, 0.3 of world record consistently? Yeah. I can't actually see... To be fair, there's quite a few players that I think have probably done a lot of part map or offline practice, because, like, I don't see Elcon in any of the top 10s. I don't see Epos in any of the top 10s. I don't see Bosbez in any of the top 10s. Like... Oh, wait, no, I do. No, there's Elcon. He was 8th on Cryomass. So, yeah... I feel like he probably has a time that could be, you know, even better than the world record, just given the performance that we're seeing at the moment, and he's not showing his true pace on the online leaderboards. That feels like it could be quite likely, to be honest.
I do wonder, like, again, how much, you know, going into the labs, when we're going to see people really push and where we might see some of those surprise lines, because you don't burn it in the seeding if you have the confidence to get your way through. You're going to wait till you get to your top 8s, your top 4s, where we'll start seeing crazy things. But again, 55.2, again, Elcon just constantly, he's pulling ahead of Brinken right now. He's starting to chip away and pull even further ahead of Brinken. It looks like Elcon's going to be our #1 seed.
No, I couldn't agree with that. Couldn't disagree with that. Grenadi started off so well as well, and he seems to be slipping back in the pack. Minibar Enjoyer up there for a moment. So I thought we were going to see something interesting.
I mean, look, and for half the players, it's a little too early for the Minibar Gex, all right? But for the other half...
Snappy?
Snappy's probably looking for that Minibar right now.
Yeah, he is. He's chased it up, so...
Fair enough. Ooh. Grenady also is with a little bit of a bonk, so not the cleanest for everybody. Again, it is 8 out of 10, so if you can afford 2 mistakes, right? 80% success rate should be expected from our top 64.
Oh, Elcon gets that end so good. That is unreal. Just full sends it into the reactor and is like, yeah, you know, it'll stick. Like, it'll be fine.
I like that you're saying it should be expected of the top 64 when you were trying to persuade us with all your might that somebody major was going to be dropping out here, Max. It's all over for one of these guys.
I mean, it will. Look, that's why it should be expected. That's why it'll be a shock when it happens. If someone does come up that little bit short, I stand by my statement. I think it is perfectly apt. We still have one more track to go through our seeding before we get into our top 16. So while that gets carried over, we're just going to have a quick little chat. But initial thoughts so far, as we're going to go to server 4. So we're going back to the Mutta chat. How we feeling? It seems a lot of the familiar names, admittedly, are towards the top.
Yeah, I guess as we kind of expected, we're playing 30 rounds after all. If it was time attack, then, you know, maybe you would get a couple of names crop up that have, you know, just giga grinded the maps that maybe you wouldn't think, oh, you know, they're not such a top player. They've done all right. But I feel like it's when you get into those rounds and it's like both a test of speed and consistency that then the cream rises to the top, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, Elcon has been, well, creamy. To put it nicely, watching the lines they were taking.
It's not a nice mental image, mate.
What? If you're creamy, that means it's like you're silky smooth, all right? It's a good... I want to be... You know what? The winner of this event is going to be the creamiest driver. I'm saying it right here.
The cream of the crop, right?
Exactly. You got it's all about just smoothing it through.
I wish I hadn't said the word cream now, but there we go.
Yeah, now it's stuck in my head. We got 5 hours of this, baby, until chat gets rescued.
Yeah, you get to suffer with us for that long. Congratulations.
I like L Cream 21 exactly. They're going all the way. I see you, chat, coming all the way through. Should be jumping back in shortly. Again, we are going to go to the 4th warm-up, about 5 seconds away from ending, but we're going back to Group 4. That's the one with Josh, with Stuffs, Massa, Gwen, Mutta. This is probably the second more stacked group of the 4 that we had, and Here we go, getting ready to jump into Addiction. And again, Orion, I'm kind of leaning on you. Walk us through this map.
This map's hard. Like, this is like thread the needle, fast, reactor boosts, different surfaces. You've got plastic, a lot of plastic, and like these plastic sausage blocks as well, which are a nightmare to drive on.
And eat.
Reactors, tech. It's a fantastic map. Do not get me wrong. It is a fantastic map, but my word, is it difficult to drive in rounds. I think this is probably, like, if you struggle with ice, then obviously it's going to be Pyromass that's going to be your kryptonite here. But this one, just in terms of difficulty overall, I think is probably the hardest.
Ice is just 2 turns. How many tough turns are on this one? I kind of have to agree with. I'm not the best at ice, but I kind of have to agree. This is the toughest. This is the most punishing. Whenever you have plastic sausage curves, you know it's going to be difficult. And this turn right here, to hold the speed to hit that risky finish, you can see some of the drivers struggling at the end. That's going to be so make or break. And I'm not going to be shocked if we do see on the regular people actually pull off and just take the safe finish, because if you're not 100% confident you can make that risky, it gets so bad for you so fast.
Kvik just got a big finish into first place, which gets him into 8th overall. That's huge. I do believe, though, that Mudder is no longer close to that top 10. That's I'd say not close. He's 11th, but
big name might not make it.
Top 10.
Is Mudder the big name that's gonna?
Is it the big name? Yes. I mean, yes.
What?
Big name.
Mudder's all we got, man.
Mudder's all we got. It's desperation for us here.
No, but I think I would argue that would be a bit of a shocker to not see him hit that top 64. If that turns out to be the case, of course, if he's top 10 here, probably still safe. But yeah, Massa and Josh were kind of like the big names that we saw before on this one, and it is Massa again. Oh, Josh just had a terrible ending. I'm not sure that got caught on the stream, but did exactly what I was talking about at the end. Didn't have full confidence going for the risk. He actually wound up bonking trying to push it and drops back to 34th. This ending is brutal.
Mudder gets his way back into 10th.
The end is like, you know, because you're essentially going into a blind bug slide with a speed test. And I imagine Mime built that finish and went, nah, too easy. Let's put a pole there as well. And Josh has just planted his face firmly into it.
That pole is brutal.
Yeah. And not just like a light pole either, like a full, like, square,
pylon. A
thick,
pylon.
chunky pylon, yeah.
It's tough to avoid. And you know what? I'm going to say it. I'm happy Josh hit it, not because I want to see him fail, but like, it makes me feel better about myself, all right? It makes me feel better because that pole, it's evil. It's an evil concoction.
It is out to get you.
It is. But you know what? It's supposed to be hard. At least again, these maps, are they the hardest tracks in the world overall? No, because again, you have people having to practice different disciplines. We did want to make it sort of that, you know, these maps, you can learn them maybe with less practice time than what you might see in other events. And it's also why there's only 3 essentially that we're running, but they still need to be a challenge. And yeah, of the 3 that we have for the mix, this is definitely the hardest. And we are seeing, I think, the most variability in the finishes right now, out of all 3 of the tracks on this one.
I think realistically, Mudder, what he needed was us watching. He's been performing and it has gained a position every single time, every round since we started watching Max. It's really on us for leaving in the first place.
Yeah, maybe.
He's feeling that Australian aura.
Exactly.
You say camaraderie. On production. I will.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Biased European production, trying to keep us away from Australian green and, more importantly, gold at the moment. But still, he's back in P10. Let's be honest, this is a bit of the Stuffs and Josh show. There it has been. Stuffs again out in the front with a pretty massive lead. And I am happy seeing the familiar names up towards the front. One of the names who's been up there, a few of these who we didn't see before when we were watching this group, Bobo, 247, another Italian driver. I hate saying I'm not the most familiar with the Italian scene because it comes across as unprofessional, but I'm always excited when I see that flag up towards the top.
The
And
thing
keep
is,
in
right,
mind
you,
the time zone too. It's hard to be
Yeah.
familiar with the Italian scene for us.
the thing is, like we're just casters. We either know a player's name or they don't. If they show up in a tournament and they
Yeah.
impress us, then we know who you are. That's just kind of how it works.
If
So
they
I'm
turn up in an OCE or Asian tournament and we know
Look,
who you are, then
I'm
you were
gonna be
good enough.
real.
That's
Everything above the northern hemisphere is just a blur for me. All right, all of your names spell out the same to me. Northern hemisphere.
above the
That-
northern hemisphere. Are we looking at like what kind of
Everything
what other
above the northern-
planets are playing today?
It's why I have like Australia 1, Brazil or not, Argentina 2, Brazil 3. It's all southern hemisphere. Southern hemisphere pride.
Yes,
Let's go.
yeah.
We need allies where we can get them.
Southern Hemisphere pride is
I was
really.
gonna say who would win the battle of the hemispheres? That would be quite a biblical fight.
I reckon that's a pretty fun event. I reckon in the future
Cue it
right
up.
now.
There it is.
Cue it up. Let's go. Oh my goodness. I don't think. Oh no. Who was that? Was that Vukras? I saw one person down in the safe finish. I thought we were going to get an all risky finish, and then Vukras,
Mhm.
I believe, was the one who fell down below. Now
It
I'm
is
going to remember
dirty.
that name.
Hey,
Everyone's
look-
saying Northern Stomps, and I kind of have to.
Yeah.
My brain agrees, but my heart says, nah, too much infighting.
I mean, it's known as a European esport for a reason. Doesn't mean it hasn't made its impact outside of that, but it's definitely there is a domination. Generally speaking, that's what we're trying to fight against here. That's the point of a game set up like this. Trackmania games bringing something different in. You got to be the best in the world, not just your region.
Too much infighting. Too much infighting. All right. All the European countries are going to turn on each other, whereas the Southern Hemisphere countries are going to unify and they're going to find a way. North America. All right. We can take you. Maybe we'll see. We'll see how things play out. But for the most part, yeah. I want Southeast Asia and South America. Oceania, we're going to combine. We're going to take some of these events. Smiley Bob! There's a name we haven't seen at the top just yet. Well done from Norway. Getting across first.
Yeah, very well done.
I think we can definitely see though that the times that are being set, even by like the player finishing in first, are reflective of the map difficulty. Like they're maybe more like half a second off world record as opposed to a couple of tenths. Might be different on other servers, different players, but ultimately I think that can be used as kind of the litmus test of map difficulty, shall we say.
I mean, even just that swap around for within the leading positions there, it very heavily reflects the difficulty of the maps. You look at that one there, we saw so many different names in that top 5 section that we didn't see in other maps. So I think that's really reflective of the difficulty that can just wipe out a run of even very, very consistent players.
That said, we are jumping to server number 2, and some interesting names to look out for. Again, in 2, we did see it before, but SQLC name to look out for, Mateno. Probably just totally mispronounced it, my bad. But he's in this group. Leviathan, I know, Gex, you were looking at him in the mapping. Hasn't really been performing so much on the racing side. Alex W, another one to look out for. This is a fun group. We saw EPOS as well. And
This is the
DRC,
EPOS group.
Wiggity, probably one of the better American drivers, has been more towards the front, and maybe not quite as high as the top end as some of these other groups, but this one has definitely been a kind of fun group to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, we saw EPOS at the top there, who I think will go all the way to the grand final. It's so hard to pick a winner when a bracket is this stacked, especially when you've still got every single player on the table. So I think once we start to whittle things down, it will become clear who the favourites are based on who they've beaten, how confidently they've beaten them, etc. And we have 2 players go through from each match in the bracket as well. So like, say, for example, this wouldn't happen because of seeding, but say like EPOS and Massa are in the same match. If EPOS, beats Massa by 20 points going into the next match, you've got a pretty good indication of like what the pecking order is there, and you can get a rough idea of how things are going to stack up.
There has been a shift of one particular position on the leaderboard in this group that I've noticed a fair drop from Thomas Jean down in 7th now. I think they were 2nd or 3rd when we left, so that's a big drop there.
Again, different maps, different strengths. I think the big thing though with this group, it still kind of is the Letzer and Boss battle towards the top on this group, which I suppose is surprising overall. But I mean, again, it's the parity of having 3 different maps, 3 different skill sets in all of them, and yeah, saving this one for 3rd as well. This could be where we see the dramatic changes in places, and where, you know, unfortunately for a lot of the drivers, this is the do or die, and I'm happy we're actually staying a little bit further back on Recoba right now. Yep, and then we jump up to EPOS, fair enough. Because this is where we are going to really have to see people try to push and get their way through. A little bit of a bonk at the end for EPOS. Unfortunate, they may have lost a spot. They'll still be fine. But yeah, everyone in the middle of the pack, everyone in the bubble scene, they got to be sending and hitting right now if they want to qualify.
Big finish there from Andy RC and me Quattro there above Letster and Thomas Jean, who had a bit of a step up. But EPOS came out in 5th in that last round of that server too.
Yeah, that he did. So we are jumping to server 1 right now, and we haven't actually seen server 1 yet because they had a little bit of technical difficulty before, so they're a little bit behind.
Seen that.
So that's fine. So now we are going to jump over to them, as they just finished. I believe that may have just been okay. That was the end of round 2. So they're still back in Borden. So we're going to be spending a lot of time with Group 1. I think we're going to be following them to the end. No pressure on this group, but as we get into it, you know, as they play catch up, who are the names we're looking at here?
I can tell you, because on eCircuit Mania, because this group has not finished yet, they are all at the top of the leaderboard. We are looking at Postito Paco, the Hungarian, Skandir, Belgium, Nitek, I think that's a Russian driver, Kopro, Sweden, Afi, Switzerland, former TMGL player, New Prime, Razzie, Lingo, names that I recognize in there.
Yeah, I was going to shout out Lingo.
Those are the big ones, yeah. Those are the big ones. Came
up with some big early times for these tracks as well.
Oh, you've got Cambo in here as well, Australia.
I am wondering, is that the SRK?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Oh, he is. That's all right. Well, I mean, there's probably the biggest legend in this group. Maybe not the fastest driver, but the biggest legend in the group going to be competing right there.
I think Killian in that top 10 as well in 7th there. Is an interesting one to see stand out for me.
Yeah, a lot of bigger names. Just apologies, I'm just gonna.
Is it? Can you clarify for me, Orion? Is it Knintje?
I looked at that name on the leaderboard and I avoided it intentionally. I am not even going to attempt it.
Okay, I was close. It sounds like it's a inflectual K, not a Knintje. Okay, I'm on board for Knintje. That's a epic name for a player who I have put up pretty high on my pick'ems as well, and is currently in that top 10 with Lingo just hanging in there.
They are kind of playing up more towards the front. I'm gonna quickly look to fix my mic. I'm gonna leave you two guys to cover the axe for a bit. I'm gonna try and fix my microphone again. Live TV, everybody.
Live production.
I don't think I mentioned. I didn't mention Razzie either. Croatian player. I believe I can't remember if he was TMCL or TMGL, but like again, another player that's played at the highest level professionally in Trackmania. It's great to see Afi competing again. Player that we haven't seen for quite some time, I would say. Is that right? I can't remember the last tournament that I saw Afi playing. Right? That.
Could not help you with that one. I can't. No. Yeah, it's not a name on the tip of my tongue or anything for sure.
Afi used to be like top 4, top 6 TMGL, something like that, and yeah, just hasn't been that active. So great to see Afi back. New Prime as well, another German. We highlighted the Germans right at the start for being potential victors overall, and we've looked at a number of their players now, just in this seeding event, who are easily top 10. So they're putting in a good stint. I mentioned the UK. We've looked at Epos, Josh, Boz, all seeming to have a good seeding so far. Who else do we say? France, I guess. Have there been many? Like Gwen,
there really haven't
I
been
guess,
any
was the
big
standout.
placements from France yet, have there?
Yeah. I'll check their roster quickly, who we should be looking out for. Binks, Link, Novu, and Gwen. I haven't seen Binks. Have you seen Binks? Is Binks here? Is Binks playing? I feel like we would have seen Binks. No.
Max, you have an actual like on your end, or as a filter echo put on. You sound like you are speaking out of a cave towards us. It's fantastic.
Are you sure?
Oh, no, you're good now. You're good now.
Okay.
I thought you should keep it personally. That's the cave of despair that we're speaking out of as Australians right now.
Technology hates me today, man. I don't. Why? I feel like there's always one person in every broadcast, right, who's just gonna have all the issues, and I drew the short straw today. Like, whatever. Is it good now? Are we happy days?
Yeah, you sound fine.
No, then we're not touching it ever again.
Ain't broke, don't
That
fix
sounds
it.
like that's a good decision. I'm liking that decision.
Never. Yeah.
Can we get an MVP award for Max Swimmel for not touching his microphone anymore?
Dude, you know what? I do have the PlayStation controller plugged in. I can switch to that mic at a moment's notice.
Oh God, no!
Classic
Please do not.
PlayStation.
Please do not. Please do not. Do not do that.
So.
Whoa.
Yeah, good times. Good
Vestido
finish right there.
Paco, I think is how you say that, is
Yep.
right up top right now. That's huge.
Yeah, good on. Again, always good to see. I like seeing when, somebody who's struggling a bit maybe, and I say struggling loosely, but when somebody who's not in the top 3 just comes through and wins a round, right?
Well,
That's got to be so good for the confidence.
There is not one repeating flag in the top 10 right now. Every single player from a different nation. That is good to see. Loving that.
That's pretty cool.
That is cool. So we didn't get to cover them as well. One sec. There was a driver, because you guys were talking about names before when my mic broke for the 3rd time, which is awesome.
Wait. Hold on. Pause.
Yeah.
Pushti is doing a wall bang at the start drift. Like, where you should usually be drifting, he is just full-on crashing into the wall, and it's faster by about 0.2. His name is not in the world records. The world record does not do that, but it is massively faster. And it looks like
Who is that, sorry?
Pushti Paco.
Oh,
Yeah.
it is Pashito. Okay.
Yeah. Can we go on board with him?
Yeah, that would be a great focus.
Next round, please.
You
Yeah,
are
I literally
spoiling
just
this
caught that
for
out the
him.
corner of my eye.
You are spoiling. He came into this going, please let nobody on stream notice this. I've got to hold this all the way over to the second day of this.
I think he had to pull it out, though, because he was kind of more middle of the pack. I was talking about before, and now all of a sudden, we got some new tech. I mean, he's
Second
up in
overall.
the P2 now, so yeah, looking pretty good.
Yeah.
I am so curious to see this wall bang, and I'm
Yeah,
happy
I
you
could
caught
be
that.
wrong, but I swear I saw this out of the corner of my eye. And I haven't seen
see
any of the
early.
records do this.
Far standard.
Spencer's
Little
killing
tight.
me.
Bit of a different line to the rest of the pack early there, and it has pulled him ahead. But there it is.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
the wall
my
bang.
God.
Oh my goodness. And it's consistent too. That's crazy.
Sick. That's so sick. I
Yeah,
mean, it was
this-
faster the previous
Good
round.
call. What a pickup. That's huge.
Yeah, I think he got clipped in a little bit too hard this time, but you can see what he's going for. It's just to help angling the nose of the car, right, to get the
Yeah.
tighter turn through. This time he didn't really save the speed as well, but he's still up towards the front. And you're right, when you hit that correctly, you are getting a faster time. So there's some of the
shot.
innovation
Oh,
we were hoping
Spark
to
is up
see.
there. Spark is the one biggest player I had as a shout out from India as well. Has been a bit of a map maker and has finished in multiple first place positions within their own Trackmania India tournaments and gets a top 5 here.
More of that Southern Hemisphere pride. What we want to see. Let's go.
As Cambo slips back into 10th. Yeah.
Look, it happens, but again, too, we're still going to have one more map after this, and this does mean for people who might be tuning in right now thinking, awesome, that round of 16 is going to be starting in 7 minutes. It might be a little bit delayed because we're still going to be finishing the seeding. There was a bit of technical difficulty. Here we go. In P1 already. Now look how far ahead he pulls.
Cool.
That's huge.
That's so cool.
Huge.
That's 2/10. That is going to get picked up and used by
Oh,
everyone.
yeah.
Yeah, but you got to use it
Maybe
overnight,
not today,
right?
but yeah, exactly overnight.
Yeah,
That's gonna be
overnight.
a huge change.
So
And
now we're seeing
unfortunate for Postito that it's gonna be a huge change too, because I think
Yeah,
it's
sorry,
his
mate.
biggest advantage here by far.
Well, if he keeps this run clean, I mean, he could be pushing that world record time right here because he is significantly ahead.
huge.
Granted, Lingo's right up there with him, I should say, but sticking the ending, what time are we looking at? 55.294.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just, 3/10 off.
Whew.
Very,
I
very
guarantee though, I guarantee that he probably has an offline world record, like that is faster than
Yeah.
stuffed
Yeah, that's
55-0, 100%.
I mean, a lot
Like,
of these
if he's-
players
if he's
will,
been
right? I
doing
mean,
that time and
the
time.
online records are fairly meaningless, as evidenced by my pick'ems.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, that's the only reason why your pick'ems are wrong, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
We solved it. It's 'cause it's
I
because
tried to cheat. I just went online records. Let's have a look at who's on top, and I can get an average out of this. I think. Wrong choice. Wrong choice.
It's
man.
about using your brain, no, it's about using your heart, not
Yeah,
your brain.
I don't know. We've been here for the entire broadcast. It's
Yeah. And I haven't used my brain once, and look how I'm going.
exactly. There
I've
we
only
go.
broken
You
my
reached the point.
microphone
There
3
we go.
times. I've only broken-
I'm not sure that's brain issues though. Is it? Is it gonna be more of a? Do you injure yourself a lot in real life? Is it?
I have never broken a bone, thank you very
Me
much.
neither. High five.
Woohoo! It's Razzie actually with
Cambo
the
in
snipe
seventh.
at the end. Well done, Razzie, on that to get one back over the top.
Map number 3 again, and yeah,
Yep.
it is looking very consistent. Now we have to see if Pestizzo has something else in store for us on a different map. Really,
He's actually
Yeah.
not in
Addiction.
first on the server, by the way. It's
no,
actually
he is not.
is Nitek, Russian player, currently in front by 0.2 overall. So it's super tight. You've got Nitek on 1509, then Pushti 1510, Skandir 1510, New Prime 1510, then Afi a little further back on a 1511. So it's real close at that top end, and I think that that little trick from Paco there has really kind of cemented his position in that top 5 in that server.
I feel like, I don't know, is it a blessing or a curse to be put in the position where everybody else is finished? You're still an entire track behind. So, obviously, you know what? I don't think the drivers know what they have to hit to qualify, but we do know what kind of times they're going to be looking at. So, they actually are, they have a known quantity of what we need to be better than in order to qualify. And I'm wondering if any of them are trying to look that up, trying to figure that out right now, or if they're just staying focused.
I think that's too difficult to tell at the moment. I can give you guys some results from the other 3 servers. So top place player, no surprise from the amalgamation of all other 3 servers. Elcon. Second, Epos. Third, Alex W. from the Netherlands, a name that we didn't really highlight that much. Then we have Levon, Grenadi, Bosbez, Smiley Bob, Andy RC, and Letzer Brinken. The names just keep coming. I was going to stop eventually, but there's just so
Epos
many
in
good
second, though.
players.
The Brick gets his caster call out there. This is so biased.
Where's who's on the bubble though? Like, who would you say is in danger? Having a look at the standings.
64th right now is Snappy.
Wow, I think if you're
Snappy,
64th, you're
Rixo,
gone.
Josh. Yeah, I have to agree. Because it's probably going to be like, what, a quarter of the players from this server make it through?
Where's
So you got to look at like the 48 area, because they're the ones who will be on the bubble.
Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb. I can't actually work it out because of just how like these guys haven't finished yet. So you've got like a whole server's worth of people,
true.
and then the leaderboard starts. So
yeah, that's actually
it's too difficult.
Oh,
that's fair. Math is hard. I don't want to do it. The fact that I'm not even, at least you tried. All right, that's braver.
I gave
than
it a
Gex
good go.
and I.
Okay.
Exactly.
cool. Just saw a big wipeout there as the track narrowed, and Vestido Parko doesn't make the risky finish either. That's the name I've got to focus on now, because he did so well in that last map that it does come down to him holding the position now, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult. I mean, again, it feels like as long as he keeps it clean, honestly, with how well he's done, should be able to make it through. It's the drivers who are sitting kind of in that 10th, 11th, 12th that I think are on that bubble. And I saw, we had our Australian friend there, SRK, just finished 11th as well. Like, that's going to be... They're the drivers that are going to be vying to stay alive to get to that round of 16. Only 9 more attempts left. Gotta keep it clean. For the ones at the top, for the drivers like Nitec, well, I was about to say they're probably doing good, but we just saw them bounce out of that. It's tough. It's tough to be consistent again, especially going into what we all kind of came to the same conclusion before. This is the toughest map of the 3.
I'll say as well, like, that one small, well, not small, that one respawn from Paco dropped him from 2nd to 14th. So, for example, he was tied with Nitec and Scandir on, like, to the 2nd, and he is now 7 seconds behind both of them. That's how much it costs. One mistake here.
I mean, I just saw Lingo drop from like 7th to 33rd over the second half of that track, so I think it's painful. It's painful when you have those mistakes. Lingo's still going to be in the top 10, still looking pretty good, but yeah, as you're saying before, this track, it's punishing in the rounds that matter the most, in those final rounds. I don't want to be the guy encouraging, conservative driving and playing it safe, so don't do it. But if you want to advance, if advancing is the only thing that's important for you, then fine, do it. And it will probably save you like 10 positions around just by making sure you don't make that mistake. But my goodness, watching Cambo right now full send it, it's so much more fun.
I feel like you have the option to full send it if you're at the back of that 10 or just verging on making it into that top 10. But if you're at the front, it's all about consistency right now. You can hold for the rest of this from here on out, really.
Yeah, there's like 46 players in this server, so maybe we say like the top...
Cambo in 3rd?
I don't know, 12?
Cambo?
Something like that?
Cambo went so wide on that finish and dropped from 3rd to 7th.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, if top 12 makes it, for example, like, Pastido Paco is now out of that top 12. He's in 17th.
Yeah.
So... I would almost argue that you can't really drive, like, full safety car speeds.
Well, I don't think Pastido has. He's made several appearances as one of those top 3 drivers, then made a huge mistake and knocked himself out. So I don't know that he is.
I mean, no, if you want the argument for not going safe, we saw it with Campo at the end of that last one.
Pastido's right out the front again here, number 1 right now.
Yeah, Paco definitely feels like he's doing more of the opposite. And I think Paco probably aware of his position, knowing that he has to say, look how much further ahead he is at the...
Well, he's got to represent that he can do it without the strategy that nobody else knows, right?
I think he just needs to do it right now. It doesn't really matter how. Bye, Affy. I saw that. We all saw that. You're going to be out of the front for this one. Paco getting run down by Lingo as well. Granted, on this turn, just avoid the pole. Please, no pole hits. There you go. Everyone gets through nicely in the front. And Paco... 4 thousandths ahead of Prime.
Yeah, and Lingo there in 3rd, I think, needed a top finish here to really represent himself well as he slips towards the back of the pack overall. So I think both Paco and him needed a good showing there, and they get it.
I'll tell you what, one player that I will highlight, and my British bias showing through again here. Miles, a player that has kind of just been on a slow and steady grind, just coming up through the kind of British rankings, but it's now like he's 10th currently. I'll be honest, no disrespect to him, I didn't expect him to be pushing these like top players because you know, previous British tournaments just hasn't been that high up the pecking order, but really surprising me here. Great
Especially
show
for
from him so
consistency
far.
too.
Yeah,
Just
100%.
drop all of the caster curses right now. All of them.
Speaking of, I might be able to curse Spark, who's up in the pack right this second.
I'm still waiting
Would
for
really
the,
love
I'm,
to
I'm still
see
waiting for the
Spark
hammer to drop on Miles, because if Orion is proving that he can avoid the caster curse, look out. That's all I'm saying.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Come on. Good strong finish, Miles. Look at that. Look at that.
Never in doubt.
Never. Well done, Miles. Well done to Britain right there.
Bang at time, by the way.
And Spark in that I was calling out Spark, and I did do it in that last turn. He dropped from 14th to 24th. There you go.
All right, we
You know
don't need
what?
to watch Miles anymore. We already watched him.
Yeah. Yeah. He's great. Yep. Point made.
I think it's just an Australian
Fantastic.
Queensland thing, all right? We just cast the curses.
Yeah.
Something about this state. But out in front again, it was Packham out in front once more. He is one of the most feast or famine drivers I think we have on the server, like on all the servers right now in terms of how they're approaching it, which, you know, super fun to watch, but consistency when it's so important through these round stages, it would be. I'm curious if Paco goes out, if he starts trying to teach that trick that we saw in the last track over to this one, like from Birmingham over to this one, or like over into teammates moving forward. If he starts trying to coach
especially
that
with
wall
group
thing.
stages for this event as well, that's probably a good advantage.
Yeah, because that's something we haven't really talked about too. Like, a lot of these teams do have like the coaching, which Gex, you did highlight it to your credit. You were like, yep, coaching's going to be big. How much communication do we really think is going on between, like, you know, countrymen and trying to help each other in the training and all that? Because I imagine there has been some boot camps.
It's got to depend on the nation, though, right? Surely, there's going to be more together teams than others out there. So I think it's going to hang very, very heavily on the players in the teams to actually make use of that being there.
I feel, I don't know. I feel like you want to be, especially I think for the smaller countries. I really hope they are working together.
Yeah.
And coming together.
Me too.
And I'm hoping the larger countries, like, you know, your Germanys and your Canadas, are, you know, fractioning and imploding, and they're ununified, so we get some upsets happening. All right.
Yeah.
Like,
The Brits, no chance.
Hey, come on, man. We're a good community.
Oh, come on. We're barely holding you on the desk right now. It's gonna.
all I'm saying is this Miles guy you were talking about before. You know, if he wants,
He's pretty
to
good.
Get, like,
He's pretty good.
If he wants to send an Australian, you know, green card or whatever it is that you get to come here, we can work out something.
Ninja back up in second there.
Oh, yeah, Scandir, though, the one in the lead with a nice 2-second cushion. I think Scandir is going to be okay. I think at this stage.
I think, yep. That's a fair call.
Scandir's probably okay. I think Afias up there as well, probably going to be okay. New Prime, probably going to be okay. So a lot of the more known quantities in this group should be getting through.
Lingo's got to watch himself still.
I was going to say, Lingo is kind of right on the bubble at the moment, and with a 2-second gap to 10th at the moment. Copro as well in 12th, Nico in 13th, Gaming Gamist in 14th, and then we've talked about him a lot already, but Paco currently in 15th.
Huge.
Right on the cusp. I feel like maybe 15th could just scrape in from this server. We've got, what, 45 players, so you take the top, I guess, 25%. Probably you probably want 12 if you want to secure it.
I mean, but even then, it's just tough to know for sure. As we come across the line, there we go. Putsia Paco.
That's a better time. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, he's
And
had the
again, too-
potential though. He just hasn't been able to get any finishing runs. Where like he's held the pack in those top 3 so many times, and just keeps dropping that off. And so maybe a bit of nerves coming in here as well.
Corpo just got themselves up to the top 10 after that last round. Not a day we've seen too much of before, but again, this is definitely one of those bubble drivers who's going to need a strong showing now. As it's always fun to watch what the middle of the pack looks like as well, just to get an idea of sort of how spread out maybe this is getting as opposed to up in the front. You can see, yeah, the line very, very similar for a lot of people. This isn't really a track that has a lot of different variable lines, at least through the middle portions.
Unless you're Scandier and want to go really wide there for some reason and drop to the back of the pack. That is an option too.
It's not a good one.
No, I wouldn't recommend it. It is probably the option I would take if I was on field.
Yeah, I like to think outside the box or and not into the pole. There we go. Everyone avoids it as Lingo, who we said before needs some good runs, gets a very good time right there. That actually might save their qualifying.
Parko top 5 again, but once more, Parko led the pack for the vast majority of that run. Just can't hold it in the back end.
Oh boy, this is it. I think we are coming down to the end of these qualifying. And again, a reminder to everybody: just because the qualifying is over does not mean the event. I mean, we're not even. We're going to the round of 16 right after this. We're going to keep running until we get to the quarterfinals. I'm going to explode again, but then come back. And sorry, I'm allergic to Northern Hemisphere people doing too well.
Yeah.
There we go. Lingo's dropping back down. And actually,
Yeah,
Lingo's
like
sitting up
nobody
towards the
else
front.
in here is Northern Hemisphere, just Link. Weird
I would
call
say
out.
it's overwhelmingly Northern Hemisphere, so you're about to have a sneezing fit in that case.
Look, man, I got my antihistamines. I'm ready to go. I can handle it. But
You're not
Lingo,
wrong.
back-to-back wins? Yeah,
Oh,
another great time right
Parko,
there.
you've got to be joking. Parko was about to
did he
finish
just-
in that top end again and hit the finish line.
He's fine.
Crash
He's
into
still
the
fine.
checkpoint.
I think he's making it. I think he's
Yeah, I
making
think he's
it
fine.
just
I think
based
he's
on
fine.
the leaderboard updating. Unless he has an absolute stinker in DNFs. Wait, was that the last round? I thought
That
we
was
had one
last
more.
round.
Oh,
That
okay, then we
was-
have a leaderboard.
Yeah, there you go.
Ooh, all right. We got to get ready. I got to get set. Got to know who's going to make it through.
Max almost got the lock-in glasses on now. It's it's time
What
to
do we
go.
want to
Rock
do
and
here?
roll.
Am I going to read out 64 names in a row, or are we just going to go like top 10? No?
I think we go back to. I think our
We have to welcome
gracious
in the
host
fourth.
wants to ruin our flow and make the
okay,
announcement. He wants to make the announcement
Here he
himself. He wants the spotlight. He wants to be the good guy.
Greedy, no alone.
Listen, I didn't realize this was such a hostile environment that I was walking into.
Well, that's what Orion brings. It's the
it's
the British
Orion's
element,
bringing
really.
the hostility.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
I'm
fair.
the
yeah.
hostile one declaring war on the
Absolutely.
Northern
I'm, so,
Hemisphere.
For sure.
I'm sorry, but if you're north of the hemisphere, you know you're coming into a bit of a bad time.
That's fair. Orion, you suggested reading out 64 names. I'm going to suggest we don't do that because that's too many names.
Please
We are going to just highlight very quickly here. These are the results from Trackmania. Up the top there, you had 3 players who did not show up for one or more of the maps and therefore got a time of 0 seconds. And so
Big
they're not
brain.
being counted. I believe we'll be going down to place 67 then, if my maths is correct. But let's just have a
from
quick
this,
scroll through here. Anyone that surprises us by either being in
Alex
here
W?
or not being in here at all. Alex W with a really strong
Stuffs-
performance. That's true.
Stuffs is lower than I thought he would be on there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lingo got through. SQLC got through. Good to see. Corpo did
Spammy
get
J.
through. Ooh, all right. Here we go. Page 2. This
Where
is-
things start to get a little bit tense as well. As a
Cambo
couple
got
of
there.
Americans.
Yes,
Yep.
Cambo. And
Mudda
Mudda.
barely gets
He's
through.
there.
Bobo
Crazy.
gets
He is
it.
there.
Oh boy, here we go. And who's
And so believe
Megorian?
Davino
Okay.
is the player
Iridium.
just outside then. We will wait for confirmation from the admins. Do not take our word as gospel right now. We will wait and see when the admins have actually got the bracket sorted out who exactly is in, but it does look like Megorian for Poland may have snuck through. Stokin did not make it through, looks like, pretty far outside the places. Chemko from Turkey also down there in 77th. Manta is in 71st. Key in 72nd as well. So things definitely getting competitive down here towards those kind of cut-off places for sure. I'm continuing to
for the Irish there, Noah.
Listen, it's not gone well for the Irish. That's correct. You are absolutely
really
right
good
in that one.
come-ups there too.
I'm going to highlight, going back to what we were talking about beforehand, Formal. Noisia, unfortunately for Argentina, 84th, it looks like, in seeding, which after adjustments about a 81st place, but not inside the top 64, it looks like.
Well, I said a big name wasn't going to make it through before. I feel like I brought it on myself. I'm sorry, Noisia. You can blame me for that one.
It's actually the glasses of shame. That's it was my bad.
So nobody can see him.
Yeah, no one can see the tears. All right, it's raining.
Yeah.
It's just raining in here. That is a bit of a shocker, actually. I'm not gonna lie. Is what it is, but again, the caliber, I think, from all the drivers, that what was needed to qualify, it wasn't just pace; it was the consistency as well, and it was fantastic watching. I just want to get into that round of 16 now. I want to get into these elimination matches. I want to see where we go from here.
Yeah, it is going to be a very European heavy kind of upper 64 for this mixed solo event. So unfortunately, we might have to sit you out on this one, Formal, with the allergies that you've been claiming this entire way through. But it's going to be very exciting.
He's gonna pass out.
The microphone collapse earlier was just trying to save him. It was trying to keep him safe from that one.
That actually was his voice. That's what happens with the allergies.
Hold on. It does look like some of the pods have been posted to the website, so I'm looking through right now to see if there's any ones that could be safe, but no, it's like all European.
It's yeah. Listen, what we're going to do is we are going to take a quick 5-minute break. We are going to be back with that round of 16 for the mixed solo when we have a better idea of what exactly the matchups are shaping up to look like. So don't go anywhere. Trackmania Games is continuing just after a quick break.